Welcome to another vlog. Today, I'm going to share with you my trip to Washington, D.C. I worked for Easter Seals, which is the nation's leading nonprofit of disability services and supports, and we also do a lot of advocacy. And I worked for Easter Seals in digital marketing for the national office, which is based in Chicago, but I'm in New Jersey, so I worked from home. I've been with them for about 7 years. I've never met my coworkers in person, and so I was really excited to meet them in Washington for the Easter Seals Policy and Partnership Forum, where we focus on talking to legislators and advocates about, well, this one was about airline and travel accessibility as well as healthcare. I got the chance to visit some amazing places. I've been to Washington before, but never to the places we went to. I'm so happy I met my coworkers. They are amazing in person and online as well. But yeah, so I'm going to share with you my little trip. But first, I wanted to chat about my reading for those few days. I brought my iPad and I plan to read The Monsters Redefined by Lesley Penelope, which is a historical fantasy set in Washington, 1925. So it's about a lady who can talk to spirits, and she has to fight opposing forces with some people. I didn't really know a lot about it. I was excited to read it, and I had no time. But I will read it eventually. But I wanted to share it because if you want to read it with me, let me know. I also brought an audiobook that I did finish on the car ride, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But now, let's start the vlog. We went from my hometown in New Jersey all the way to Washington. It was about 3.5 hours, and it was me, obviously, my mom, and my nurse. The ride itself, getting into Washington, is very beautiful. The architecture is amazing, and it's just a fantastic looking city. We got to the hotel, and I met all my coworkers. It was a very chill day, and I was especially happy to meet my podcast co-host, Lily. Yes, I have a podcast with Lily. It's called Everything You Know About Disability is Wrong, and it's for disabled people and by disabled people. You should definitely check it out anywhere you get your podcasts. Amazing guests, amazing conversations. Definitely check it out and subscribe. Day 2 was the long but incredible day. the Senate and Congress office buildings to meet with our legislators. And what I loved was, after meeting with Frank Pallone's staff, we took a tunnel under the building that has its own subway system just for the Senate, which was like really awesome. And it was actually fully accessible.
Us in some like different worlds, like it's which is deeply bizarre, but it was operating.
So we took that subway and we got to the Senate offices, where I met with Cory Booker's staff to chat about healthcare in New Jersey. It was really fantastic. The staff were very attentive and understanding, and I felt like I was heard, which is so important. Funny story is that while I met with Cory's aides, I was supposed to be with my other coworker, but I was pulled into this meeting. So while she's waiting for us outside, guess who she runs into? Cory Booker himself. So it was really funny, but still awesome. And then, after that, we did one of my favorite things, which is to visit an old library.
How was your visit?
Good.
You enjoy it?
I did. I'm tired. We're going to the Library of Congress.
All right. That must be it.
So we went to the Library of Congress, which is right across the street from the Capitol. And it's massive. We saw the Gutenberg Bible, and I found out that they actually turn the pages of it every few days just so it doesn't get hard and brittle. Like it needs the oils of somebody's hands. We also saw Thomas Jefferson's personal library. We saw the reading room, which was really very impressive. I did buy 3 books in the gift shop, of course.
First, we have The Long Way Home by David Laskin.
And this is about World War I veteran, about his trip through Ellis Island into the U.S.
Next, we have H.R.F. Keating with Agatha Christie, First Lady of Crime.
Obviously, I like Agatha Christie's books, and I'll read like anything about her. So I saw this, I had to get it.
And finally, we have Ta-Nehisi Coates. We were 8 Years in Power.
Yes, I'll read anything by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I've read all of the other books. This is a collection of essays by him about racism in the U.S. specifically. And then later that night, we went to the welcoming reception at Fitzgerald's. It was very fun. There was good drinks and great conversations and networking. I should say the taxis in Washington, I've never taken a taxi before. I've been terrified. And honestly, the first ride was very scary, but we did it. And then after that, it just got easier and easier. It was scary because I didn't know if it would show up on time, if I would be secure in the car, but it all worked out. So +1 to Washington for accessibility. So after that very, very long day, we went back to the hotel room and we watched The Amazing Race on the iPad and fell asleep. Day 3 was the actual forum itself at the National Press Club. Which was like a massive building where there was a lot of photographs of celebrities and just a very impressive building to be in. There was the forum guests along with our CEO.
It's exciting to have a room filled with individuals who share our purpose, staff and volunteer leaders from the Eastern Hills Network of Affiliates, national disability advocates, leaders from the Biden-Harris administration, national disability veterans and aging organizations, corporate and foundation leaders. We are so glad you are here. Before we begin today's program, I want to acknowledge an important member of the disability community who's no longer with us. Her unexpected death in March left us all at a loss. Judy Heumann devoted her life to advocating on behalf of people with disabilities. Judy was a true force to be reckoned with, and her legacy will endure for generations to come.
I wasn't quite expecting for how much of a badass you would be.
He started in the 1970s, laid the groundwork for disability rights, and what became the Americans with Disabilities Act.
We as disabled people need to band together, speak out against oppression or discrimination against anyone, and that needs to be the norm.
The amazing moderator was actually Bernie Sanders' press secretary. So she was fantastic. And also, I also got to do a new headshot. I haven't had a professional headshot like ever. And I met with my friend Nicole Evans. She's an actor and an advocate. And we finally met in person, which is so exciting, and like, I honestly didn't know if that would ever happen. Day 4 was sad because we had to leave, and on the way home, I finished the writing retreat. I gave it 3 stars. The first half was a lot better than the second half. But definitely check it out, because a lot of people loved the second half, just because how wild it was. So yeah, that was my trip. I'll be back soon with more videos. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.